I don't want to think about it.
Hello, hello, friends, and thanks for tuning in to Perry Live with Ron Drake. Excited about, again, this week's show. You know, again, the idea behind Perry Live is just to explain about all the different things that's going on in Perry, and hopefully even give inspiration to other communities, and really some of you guys need to be watching what's happening in Perry, because they need to be coming to invest here pretty soon. Today I've got my good friend and honorable, I can't even say the word, honorable, Mayor Gordon Johnson. I don't know why I'm struggling with the honorable part.
I don't either. I don't use it.
Maybe there's something subliminal up there that's...
We haven't played poker, so I know you.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Right. I'm not the best gambler. I don't think I have a real good poker face. You know.
That's good enough.
I was one of those when a mom would be like, "Ronnie, did you do that?" And I'd be like, "No." And you'd say, "Yeah, you did. I could tell."
Yeah.
Well, I am excited you're here. So, other than Kayla, who comes and does co-hosting with me sometimes, you are my first returning guest.
Okay. Cool.
And so you were actually my first guest when we started the Perry Live. And so there's a couple of things. We've been talking about this for a while. We got to get Mayor Gordon back on here because we didn't have this cool table. You can't really see it behind the names right there, but so Sue Sands and
Sue
and Lloyd made this for me, just for this show. It stays here at City Hall every week, and we didn't have these cool coffee mugs. So
full of beverage
of our choice.
Cool water. Cool water.
And so you'll get to take one of these home. I forget to say sometimes on the show that everybody that comes on gets to take a mug.
Well, then I'd give this one to Gwen. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, we should probably have her on the show. Talk about.
Yeah.
We can really find out what what goes on behind the scenes. Well, there's a lot going on in Perry right now. I just in the paper earlier this week announced that I'm here for another year as well, and it was something we all kind of wanted to do to maintain this momentum. And I'm not at all. I'm just saying I want to be here because there's so much other momentum that's outside of any of the work that I'm doing.
Right.
That even I believe will even kind of further the chances of any of the efforts that I'm working on.
I hope so. It's been a very exciting month, not as well as from January to now.
Sure.
The announcement and the interest of the Seth Wadley company. He has bought properties. He's putting together plans for a new dealership. They're painting today, as you mentioned earlier.
We walked by and looked at it.
Painting the old Vance dealership to the Ford colors and logo. They're demolishing the Kendrick property lumberyard and going to park vehicles over there. They've rented some other structures that they're rehabbing to do some of their entry-level work on vehicles as they get them in used or whatever. And so it's an exciting month right now, just watching them swarm into town, keeping our realtors locked up.
That's right.
And looking at the properties out west on the interstate. It's going to be a large facility. I really think it's going to enhance and help all the businesses that are on the interstate right now.
Right.
And I believe with their involvement downtown, with what they're doing here, it's going to enhance the businesses downtown. I really believe that's true.
It's kind of a unique scenario because the fact that they're going to come downtown for about 2 years probably.
Right.
So for the first 2 years, it's going to really kind of impact the downtown.
Right.
But it's also impacting the highway because even though we may not, there'll be construction going on.
Right.
Right. And then all these other properties, people will start improving or buying and whatever. So I think it has a really unique opportunity to make a pretty big impact in two different areas.
Yeah, a lot of areas, really.
Bro, you're right.
Their agricultural benefit, they bought the franchise for the Ford tractor dealership.
Okay.
And not only the cars and trucks, but the Ford tractors, and then other products they want to bring to Perry that we don't have currently. And I'm excited. Most of our people in the businesses around the square and elsewhere in the city are seeing the benefit of, will see a great benefit in this project. That's not the only project either.
Right.
I mean, as Perry Project continues with its commission and trying to guide people, and Ron guiding us to get businesses started downtown, to bring some more business to our downtown square, is vital.
Yeah.
We've discussed this in great detail in the past, and for those of you who don't know about the Perry Project, it is an exciting thing to try and rehab these buildings and put people in them.
Right.
Not just businesses, but people living in them, and that's just awesome. The ones that we've mentioned in the past that are ongoing, they're at next level. Their architectural plans are coming out.
Right.
Plumbers and electricians have been through them, giving bids and estimates.
Right.
So we're going to see some movement.
Oh yeah, I was just in the building that Michelle Taylor
Taylor?
has. That's going to be the local kitchen and drink, and I was in there today with a contractor talking about, okay, real close next steps. One thing we have, this may not mean a lot to a lot of people, but I think it means a lot to me and our work, is we have the director of the Historic Rehabilitation Tax Credits out of Oklahoma City coming to Perry next Thursday.
Oh, man.
And because, and this is where it gets complicated, but you know, Michelle's project is a historic tax credit project, which gives her incentives to do these buildings, and that's why, you know, when I'm talking to people, yeah, this is actually a really good economic deal if we can, you know, get these buildings going. So I kind of just reached out to Jennifer Bailey and said, hey, I think it's possible we're going to have a lot of buildings. Can you walk through these with us and kind of help streamline some of this stuff maybe?
That'd be cool.
You know, at least, or give me some feedback on how we should be filling out the app, because it's a daunting application, but once you get past that, it's a good deal. So we're excited about that, and you know, that's part of the reason as well why we really haven't fully started on Michelle's, because again, I've mentioned it before, we're getting through this tax credit process, and so hopefully, again, just more things kind of fall in place to where, you know, early summer or so, we're really starting to see some construction and things happen.
With Phil and Dr. Savati, their building should hear hammers just any time.
I hope so.
The electricians have been there, the plumbers have been there. They want to restore the old 5 apartments that were in the top of the Globe building, get people living in those again, so it's not a different use, it's the same use. We get a few legalese worked out on that with them and others. I think that will be a very quick project.
We showed the building right next door to it again today, and there's also the chiropractor's office that's for sale over here again today, and we've got a real serious buyer there, and Kayla and I had a really good conference call with some other people that's kind of half local and half out of state, you know, half the family, but they want to invest in Perry. You're hearing a lot of things, so, you know, and it was kind of interesting too, when we were talking with these folks yesterday on the phone, they were asking some really good questions about, you know, what are the, do we have the statistics on how much, you know, rental property is available and all these things, and do we have, you know, kind of almost like what's the gosh, how did she put it, the initiatives coming out of this effort and all that. You know, I said, you know what, this is ground floor. We're still trying to figure all that stuff out. All we know is things are happening before we can. I mean, they're happening. Yes. You know, it's just like the guys with Vance, like you said, the realtors, keeping them busy because they're looking for homes. I mean, there's things that are happening right now.
Rental properties, permanent locations, land with a pond. You know,
right.
These guys are asking these questions, so I'm saying, well, I know so-and-so has that.
Yeah.
We'll call them up and see if it's for sale. And that's the way a lot of it's happening. Yeah, I'll sell it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's really cool stuff.
It is. With the person that's looking at the buildings downtown, she's thinking about selling her house on the golf course, and she's already, but she just kind of threw that out there. It's like boom, boom, boom. She's got 3 or 4 or 5 people interested already.
Yeah.
So yeah.
it's exciting. If you're not involved in it, you need to just. Tyson threw up a signal and confused me, but that's okay. Thank you, Tyson, for that.
I forgot to
For
warn
that.
you.
My
When
brain-
he does
my brain
this,
stopped.
that means we've been into it 10 minutes.
Oh, thank you very much. Don't let me know about that next time, will you? So the thing is that if people want to be involved, there's ways to be involved. And I know they've heard that 6 months ago when
Yeah, I
we first
know.
started this.
I know.
But it's taken time to, one, get people interested in doing these projects. And you've proven to them that, yes, it will work.
Right.
I mean, that's been almost a language barrier.
Right.
I mean, the culture here has not been, let's build something downtown, let's do something downtown. It's always been, can we get something out
Right.
out on the edge of town in commercial properties? And to change that culture or to change that mindset has been a battle for you, for me, and everyone involved in the Perry project. And,
Right.
And it took effort from Main Street to even change its thinking and
Right.
processes. And to get that done in 6 months, I think, has gone fast.
It is, and I think one of the things the reality is all of this goes hand in hand. You know, I mean, the bypass stuff, the housing thing, and the downtown thing,
Right.
they're all interconnected. And
Right.
of course, my piece is the downtown, your piece is more of the whole town. I mean, obviously, and city manager, but I think we're already seeing it. We're going to find that when the downtown is starting to work, it's going to make it easier for the
Right.
bypass or the highway stuff to work, and for the highway stuff to work, it's going to make it easier for
Right.
the downtown. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just momentum for the whole community, not just one specific area.
And I'll tell you a little something that concerns highways. I've been going around town here real soon and speaking to the different clubs, and I'll be
Okay.
in some people's offices.
Okay.
I need letters of recommendation, letters of support for a railroad crossing at Fur and the Santa Fe Railroad or the Berkeley Northern Railroad. This means I want to build a bridge over that railroad.
Oh,
It'd be a grade separated. The railroad's all for it, but what we have to get the ODOT to pick us over some other city is support from
Right.
our community.
right.
So all of you out there that I can twist your arm enough you'll write a letter of support to get this railroad built, the ODOT will be willing, hopefully, to pull the project money to us instead of some other community. We need it as bad
Right.
or worse than
Worse.
anybody else because 50 to 80 trains a day come through here. And we need to have a separated grade crossing, not only for emergency reasons, but for those who come into town to work.
Right.
I mean, at 8 o'clock is the worst time in the world to be at the railroad crossing. And when that train blocks one crossing, it's actually blocking 3. And if there's one stop, then you're blocking more.
Right.
So
Right.
I need some community support. We've had a feasibility study done. I've submitted it to ODOT. I'm working with the engineer here locally over Division 4, which we are in, 9 counties, and he is putting together his study that we can converse about this, and hopefully I can get it on that 8-year construction program that
Okay.
ODOT does for each division. So that's something I'm going to be coming around and talking to you about and pushing hard to get letters of support. The cost of Perry, it'll be 3 to 4 years from now at the fastest, but we got to get the ball rolling and rolling quicker.
Right.
So that's just one of the things
No, I think that's great.
that we're
That's
working
great.
on.
That's
yeah.
just one of those things about thinking ahead. There'll be some of those that say, "Oh, we don't need that right now. It's not that bad." But once these things start happening,
Yes, yes.
by the time you need it, you don't be asking for it then. You need to be asking. I mean,
when you need it, it'd be 8 years later.
Yeah, and you still need it, but
Yeah.
I'm saying you're really going to need it 8 years later. So, here is a picture that just showed up. This was
What's this?
This was Blue Shirt Day.
Oh, everybody
This was-
missed it but us.
Yeah.
That is not cute, Caleb.
Why do we have this picture on the screen right now? Kayla from the background.
She's harassing us. That's what it is.
You know that you've been successful when the mayor takes over the last day of Ron Drake's presentation.
Ah, that's right.
And then they matched.
And then we matched. Yeah.
I didn't know I took over. I just spoke a little bit in support.
So that was the last day of
That's
my
last-
presentation.
yeah.
The first time I was here.
Yeah, 3 days, third day.
The third day.
Yeah,
I was exhausted at the end of that day.
I could tell.
I was exhausted. I don't think I got any sleep the night before. My brain was just going 100
Yeah,
miles an
yeah.
hour and thinking about. And of course, I had no idea that I would be here this
Yeah, yeah.
this time later. So
We got
it's
him
still-
12 more months, folks. 12
Yep,
more months.
Yep. So
Racky's
yeah,
brain.
and it's fun talking. I believe there's people that are just sitting here watching, ready
Mm-hmm.
to do something, but just waiting for that
Yeah.
right sign. And I think that's part of what we're trying to tell you, that the sign is here. And,
Yeah.
and I think part of that great phone call again yesterday. And I think these folks are going to do something downtown. But one of the questions that was asked is what kind of businesses are looking to come into
Mm-hmm.
Perry? What kind of businesses are looking to come out downtown? And I'm like, really, right now, it's going to take the people of Perry
Yeah.
to fill up these buildings. It's going to take the people of Perry to step up and take a little risk and invest in their
That's
own
right.
community.
That's right.
And
I agree 100%. Expand your footprint.
Mm-hmm.
Put in a boutique that is comparable to the business you're doing now.
Yep.
I don't want to mention names, but I've talked to different businesses in town that offer services or offer agricultural products or offer this or that that could have a presence. I even talked to 2 of the tribes.
okay.
Put a boutique downtown. Sell your handmade, your homemade, or your products that people
Yeah.
come into your store and you only have limited space for that you could fill up a whole store with.
Or even a little museum of sorts
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
And
The big thing back east that you'll notice and going around some of the smaller towns, every block you're on, there's a pet shop,
Yeah.
pet care shop.
yeah, no, I know.
I mean,
want
dog
people-
stuff, cat stuff.
We want people walking their dogs around a square, and so
Yeah.
let's.
I want to put in I want
that's
a
a great
pet
idea.
boutique put in Perry.
Yeah.
I think it would go.
Even a pet parlor that does grooming and all of
Yeah.
that with pet supplies in the front. That's a great
Boutique
idea. That's something-
downtown. The tribe could put their like Made in Oklahoma products that they do in a boutique downtown with someone else,
Right.
and just have 2 or 3 people selling their products.
Well, and we're working with someone right now that wants to put in a kids play
Yes.
space, like even kind of like I'm kind of almost visioning like a mini Disneyland, like a little tiny community where
Yeah.
the kids can go in the houses and up and do down slides and
Yeah.
climb and play and.
I was on the phone last night helping them naming properties. Go look at this. Go look
Okay.
at this.
Great.
And they called me about 8 o'clock, and I just said, "Here's 2 right
Yeah.
now off the top of my head. Go look at them."
Yeah.
And I know you had pointed out others, so that we just need to
Right.
find a little spot that they feel comfortable in and do that.
And there's a lot of people working together. We will have a baker coming to town real soon, a bakery, Risen Pies, and she's even doing what would you call it, like a weekly or a opportunity for a weekly subscription,
Yeah,
right? Where you
yeah.
can basically subscribe for
A loaf or 2
yeah,
or whatever.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But one of the things, again, you mentioned the Perry Project a lot, and so there are a lot of groups all kind of working, all in the same. We're all in the same boat,
We're laser
whatever.
focused.
That's right. And she, after the meeting that she had, I don't know if we told you this, if you heard this, but after the meeting was last Wednesday, where she met with the Perry Project group and was just asking questions, and really I felt it was a good meeting and felt like she was really feeling inspired and whatever,
Good,
and giving
good.
some ideas. She texted Kayla Schrum the next day and said that felt comfortable. It felt like family. It felt like that's a group of people that are going to help my business, and that's exactly right.
That's exactly right. We tried to reassure her that Perry Project was behind her 100%. If she would make the efforts we requested, then we could study this project and see how far we can go.
Right.
And to try and get a new business started. I mean, that's the reason that little group was formed by investors to help people who want to start a business. If they're willing to make the effort, if they're willing to take the risk, if they're willing to locate down on the square, that project group is
Yep.
there to help them. If you want to go somewhere else, let me know. I'll get you some help there too.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
I'm-
right. And you know, folks, if there's some of you that are still just watching, thinking, "How can I get involved?" I mean, we need some people. You know, like say the baker, for example. She wants to focus on building a kitchen and making bread. Maybe not so much buying a building and going through all that. So, you know, an opportunity, a great opportunity. You know, I did it in my town. My accountant, his brother. You know, people that we just cared about our town. We bought buildings and rented them to people, the entrepreneurs. So there's that opportunity here. You know, the buildings are very affordable.
They are.
And really people are going to be shocked at the affordability of restoring them as well.
I believe so. I went through a process of doing 90% of the work on my building myself after I purchased it, and it's been very gratifying. It's not been easy work.
Yeah.
It's been day after day after day. Gwen and myself invested in our building, but I could have even done it more economically if I'd have used my head just a little better.
Well,
You know?
shifts. I've made the same
Yeah.
mistakes. You know, trying to make them too nice and like a custom home or something. And I talk about it a lot on my podcast and in my book. And so yeah, you're not alone, brother. I've been there. We learn from things like that. We learn from things. And
So you got to keep Mama happy. you
Yes,
know?
that's right. That's right. So some of the things else we were talking about that's happening, Homeland's market. I think that's another great, unique opportunity. I live on this street when I'm here, and when I go to the market, I walk there. It is I can probably
3 blocks.
So having a market downtown is amazing, and so it's great that they're getting ready to do some renovations there.
Yep.
Do you know very much more about that?
They've had to put together some plans. Their architects have been here. Their people measured this structure.
Great.
Their plans are, from those I've been in contact with, is a deli, bakery,
Oh, great.
and a new meat market.
Wow.
Expand the meat market where you can actually look at the butcher and see what they're doing.
Yeah, that's great.
And
That's great.
that is, well, everybody likes it. They feel more comfortable when
Yeah.
they can see that. And
Right.
to have a bakery in there, to have a little deli in there, and then have the butcher shop expanded and it opened. I think they're going to move their kitchen equipment around. They've got to expand the building, so it's really going to be wonderful for Perry.
Yeah.
And I still just excited about that because I was afraid instead of investing they'd lock the doors.
Yeah,
But
decide
they came down and spoke to us to the city hall to speak to me, the mayor, and our city manager and staff. And quite honestly, the staff told them some of the faults of the old building and why some people just didn't feel comfortable there. And so they took that to heart.
Okay.
And
Because they own the building.
They own the
all
building.
the property and
Yeah.
everything as well. Yeah.
And all the property they need to expand, they've already got ownership of.
Okay, great. That's great news. That's really great news. And then earlier you were just kind of mentioning the tribes, but we've got the tribes expanding.
Ponca tribe.
Ponca tribe is.
They're
Bill,
coming down
what's-
from Ponca City, White Eagle area, and they're putting in a casino just 8 miles north of town, right on the turnpike, 412 Cimarron Turnpike. They're going to leave. They're renting a building downtown. Larry took them to look at it today. That will act as their project building.
Okay.
Their architects or engineers will be
Okay.
there, and they can meet there weekly with tribal leaders and tell them what's going on, then go see it and come back. They want Ponca City's too far away, and there's nothing between here and there, and so they're renting a building here on Cedar
Okay.
for a year to project manage out of. And that's good. That gives us another storefront that have people in it and activity in a building that doesn't have any activity.
Right.
It's temporary and good deal because I want a commercial interest in there and
Sure.
not a
Yeah, I mean-
government office. Government
love-
offices don't need to be on your main commercial area. They need to be
Right.
beside it
Right.
somewhere.
But it's perfect for right now. Again,
Yeah.
it's like good timing. It's
Yeah.
perfect to have someone in there, and again, just get people used to coming downtown and and have a few more people to buy lunches and a few more people to shop and do.
I want
It's-
to create traffic and parking problems.
Yeah, we want a parking
That's my
problem.
goal.
Yeah. Can't wait till we have some parking
That's
problems.
right. We want to solve those problems. If we don't have them, we're going to make them.
That's great. So is there anything, are we, so I know that the city's looking at options for development. I mean, Perry
Mm-hmm.
needs housing badly. It needs housing
Yep.
and whether it be some rentals or apartments or duplexes or single family homes. There's, I know you guys, I know City Manager Pennell,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mr. Pennell is really
That's
looking
one of
at a
his
lot
one of his
different-
major projects.
Yeah.
To help solve. And I mean, he's not just thinking of it. The guy's
no, I know.
researching, looking, drafting ideas for housing, little housing pockets around town.
Yep.
And I believe that is another area of it's going to be super growth.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get them started, we won't build them fast enough.
I know.
And-
They're going to sell.
Yeah.
They're going to sell. There's just such a need, and we're just tired of just accepting that people move to Stillwater or
Yeah.
whatever. Let's just know. And and again, that's where to somewhat come full circle with
Yeah.
all of this stuff, and then with the housing, but people still need things to do in the
Yeah,
evenings, and
that's
that's
right.
what we're really trying to focus on. I think. I mean, we're focusing on a lot of things, but we really are focusing on that quality of
Well,
life type
yeah.
thing.
We want
with people.
life activities
Yeah,
down here.
after 5,
That's
so
right.
you don't have to.
You don't have to go
leave
somewhere
Perry. You could stay in Perry. You can stay in Perry now with a great shopping center, and you can, some restaurants out on the Fur, and then some restaurants and things downtown. It'd be,
Our
It'd be
goal is to
amazing.
make it within walking distance
yeah,
of the
neighborhoods
of
and-
the apartments we build down here.
yeah.
And that will bring others down here just to see it. I mean, it's happening in Tulsa. It's happening and happened 20 years ago with MAPS projects in Oklahoma City. Everybody thought Mayor Nork was nuts when he decided we're going to put a canal down this street. And I happened to be with an engineering firm that put plans together for that. And I thought he was nuts. But hey, it worked.
It worked. You got to be nuts to run for mayor anyway, right?
That's yep, absolutely.
So we're just about out of time. I would like to give you this cup, but before I can give it to you, you have to come up with a Perry fun fact.
Oh, a fun fact.
Yeah. I texted you
Yeah,
about
you
an
did.
hour ago, and
Yeah.
you never responded, so I don't know if you saw
I'm not
the
going.
text.
I'm not going to spill my guts before I get it. No, you've heard this before, but to me it's so interesting because one of my good friends, Bill Turney, grandparents settled here,
Okay.
and his grandfather had one of the first bars in Perry.
Ah,
Now, there was over 100 of them
yes.
overnight.
Yeah.
One day this place is a pasture, a prairie,
Yeah.
with grass 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
And the next day there are tents and wood building fronts up.
Yeah.
The next day.
Yeah.
People standing in line for a mile and a half to sign off on the allotments that they had picked.
Crazy.
So the fun fact is that we took care of everybody in every way we could. There's over 200 churches, 100 bars, and 23,000 people
Wow.
sleeping in this town, in tents, in wagons, under wagons,
Yeah.
whatever. And go from that to them finally getting out of town and on these allotments, where there's almost a family on every quarter, because this is really rich land around here, good land. Just is amazing to me that they dispersed.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to draw them back.
Uh-huh.
We draw them back with employment. Not every kid who grows up on a farm wants to be a farmer.
Right.
So we got to provide. My plan is if your kids want to live here and earn a living here, they'll be able to.
Yeah.
I don't want them to have to go to Houston, Texas like my son did, or to Oklahoma City like my other son did. If they want to live here, then there's good quality employment here for them.
Hey, you know what? And I've got to give a shameless plug. Check out Flip This Town on Facebook. We've been posting some articles about how millennials and young people are choosing small towns. They want to live in their towns. There's just a few things that you've got to give them as a community.
That's right.
And they'll stay.
Yep.
They'll stay. It's a misconception that everybody wants to leave town when they do. They leave town because if your town's not giving them anything,
It's got to have quality of life.
Right. That's right. Quality of life. Well, Mr. Mayor, once again, thank you for
You
being
bet.
on again. It's great to see you. I felt like I hadn't seen you in a while. I guess I saw you a couple Wednesdays ago. We've been busy
yeah.
walking the streets. So
Absolutely.
thanks for tuning in to Perry Live with Ron Drake. We'll see you next week, and hope you enjoyed.
Good day, y'all.